Testing, microphone check. Testing, microphone test. Currently in the Aleutian Island area of Alaska, the Aleutian Island chain. Looking for areas that have this interferogram, as you can see, is pretty significant here. Sometimes it's due to Sentinel-1 imaging having the difference of the topography reporting back, so it can look like radar artifacts. Just test this area. There's probably a few. Fade. Now there's far few less Sentinel 1A and 1B. The imaging is pretty rapid and very precise. They could exist for a number of reasons, but for what I'm looking for is terrain change, possibly lava discharge, the massive looking for signs of, makes me look at these areas a lot different. All we're seeing above sea level is all that. Has some interferograms here. For a number of reasons, interferograms will exist. I don't think wave height has anything to do with it, or just the site height scanning is changing. Be waves, this could be due to the wave here. We'll look at it. Right now we are South Alaska, down to Sheldon. 3-inch field. Sheldon? Not getting Sheldon in this slice. Although, what's that? Is that a pool? Looks like it drains here. This is a lava courseway going into either its own footprint, pushing weight and pressure on top of that, or it is a very deep by lava though. Volcanoes have been rather explosive lately. Trident, Cleveland. And these volcanoes that are so massive, they have their own volcanic ranges, which build up over time, over the accumulation of material. This still has water. For a lot of different things is helpful. Guaranteed to find something when you go in not expecting to find much. See if this volcano has been here for long. Go back further into the first. Interesting feature. These are absolutely massive, massive islands that are hidden, most of them, underwater. Some of the biggest volcanoes are submarine volcanoes. Unimak. This volcano looks like it recently collapsed. Significant collapse. Oh, going over water is scary. No. Bridge going. All these are lines of negative wake as this flow goes around these islands. The islands should be connected on the bottom of a hotspot. Might float around and not connect, and one day it connects. And it does it couples. Still just going over the Aleutian Islands. You can see like that. So 2 months on this island. It's just a difference of the orbit between Sentinel-1 and Sentinel-B, that's all. It's not changing deformation, it's not deformation on that, it's the two difference of images by Sentinel-1 and Sentinel-1B. These islands have lost a lot of snow, a lot of ice, are now very volcanic in nature. What we're looking for are areas like this that are around a volcano that could be lava intruding up into the mantle, up into path of least resistance, which is should always be a hotspot volcanic island that's connected to the magma chain. Free island floating. But looking for all this kind of features like this, figure out what volcano it is, and after that, look at it in different ways, in different satellite analogies, moisture around the area, temperature around the sea, around the island, and if there's radar, the weather. Just little islands like that, giant volcanoes. That down here. turn it into a 3D image. I'm going to say if it's above sea level. Probably isn't, not around here. Yeah, you just get into the Great Sitkin Island. Fantastic lava trek. This has to be rather recent. Quite an active volcano, along with Cleveland, Pavlov, Little Sitkin, and Semi-Sopochnoi. All brilliant volcanoes that are showing signs of activity. They weren't extinct volcanoes, so surprise. See, a lot of erosion happens on these islands, and that you can at least get a good grasp just how much of the island's gone compared to it here the year before that. But that's not the exact goal of the stream. Is to look to see if I can find any interferograms using Satellite 1 SAR imaging. Get a little jump ahead of possibly an eruption even. If it's seeing a lot of changes in its topography over a series of days, I can use time lapse. Go back until the last month. This will show currents of water, jet streams in the water, and deformations and expansions of possible lava. Not here. See how these look like these popped? Pop marks. These are all areas of interest. Where all the venting is occurring on top of that volcano. Here is Semi-Sopochnoi. Brilliant island, very, very big, very large volcano. As long as it has water, fresh water in its base, it's pretty good. These wakes are pretty fantastic to see here. Great plate, say. There is a huge chasm that's from here to here in the Aleutian Islands that drops significantly going into the Pacific Ocean, where all these volcanoes are. These volcanoes in the Aleutian Island chain by Alaska, between that and Russia and Japan, these volcanoes aren't as deep as the Pacific Island, say, free floating island of Hawaii is to its hotspots. What we are learning about these eruptions in Hawaii is that the lava that has come out is different. Couples on a different hotspot gets different lava. Pretty free. Here is probably the next point of interest when it comes to volcanoes. Is this collapse already? This is a Russian volcano. Like a little footprint in the back here, probably is lava trail. Nothing abnormal. You can also try to see in the water near the volcanoes if there's a lot of seismic activity will show up. Could show up anyway. There are other volcanoes that are currently active throughout Russia. And we're just looking for the ones that recently would have interferograms. SAR technology is within the last 10 years. Some massive, massive volcanoes on this island, Fury Island. See a lot of these volcanoes with these giant explosions that absolutely tear it asunder. Creates this huge concave. The explosions don't have to happen all at once, but like in the streams I had earlier of Popocatépetl, the material comes out up at an angle or just straight up until it hits a wall of where it can't reach a thermal inversion. So a lot of this material arcs back down nearby, unless it's a giant explosion followed by the volcano collapsing into the caldera itself in its own footprint. Usually the worst volcanic disasters is like Mount St. Helens, where the volcano erupts but it also collapses and a third of it goes into its own footprint. It's chaos. I would imagine that there is lava on the top of this volcano here. Volcanoes in the Russian island of Fury. Take us a quick little look. Yeah, it's probably lava or maybe a bone collapse. Slowly over time. Possibly lava. I'll have to look at that in color. I will. Try to put a pin on it. I'll do it again. But probably lava on top of that volcano. Wouldn't be surprised. They have been seeing activity. More volcanoes. These are also Russian military target. That one. There's a nuclear power plant up here in the north of Russia. I believe just the one that shows up. Wonder if Russia is using geothermal technology to heat up, spin a turbine. No interferograms noticed, but these volcanoes definitely are active. Whole ring of fire is awake as we slowly wait for the sun's cycle peak in 2026. The weather we have been seeing maybe too much. Wildfires are difficult, fight if we're fighting lava. There's no modern way of beating back the flames when 1.5 degrees Celsius, 34.7 degrees Fahrenheit. So 1.5 degrees Celsius, 34.7 degrees Fahrenheit. There's a heat dome of that, let's say, over the Pacific that's moving into the Pacific Northwest. All of that water is going to absorb that heat, and then that water rises over 30 degrees. This shock would immediately kill most crustaceans, shellfish, many billions of marine life gone. Not seeing much activity here as I gone closer in Asia. A look at the volcanoes of Congo and North and South Kivu. These volcanoes are massive and hidden in plain sight. Go over, check the Mexico volcanoes, Pueblo, Popocatépetl. This is how I find how many vents might be, how many vent holes are in a volcano inside the vent cone itself. The lava foot right here by ancient. The 3D of Popocatépetl. Get a better glance at this volcano here in a 3D perspective. It is the height of why that was turned on. Now I can see. Exaggerated features by a bit, but its tallest feature is over 5,000 meters. It dwarfs volcanoes around it being tallest peak. The other volcano I was looking at, Shishaldin, outside of Alaska in the Aleutian Island chain, half that height. using this. Look at available terrain for differences and between the days and the Sentinel-1 and A and Sentinel-1B normally. That's Popocatépetl. Reduce the exaggeration a little bit. That's far more reasonable. And try to create a time-lapse animation of the last 2 months of the volcano. We at too low of a resolution. Back to 2. Fun in the 3D space whenever there's a volcano there to look at, but mostly it's a lot of flat land, a mountainy, hilly area. But we're looking for volcanoes and interferograms. San Salvador, Guatemala. Guadalajara shows up mighty unique. Huh. Massive and geological oddities. Take a look at the Gulf of Mexico. Areas heavy in the water. You can see the currents, you can see storms at sea. Take a look at Cuba. Not for volcanoes. Alright, this is taking a moment to load. Bay Area. There's a volcano everywhere. Volcano in Colorado. I think the Midwest. The result of volcanism. And one Ponce. There is a volcano down here to the south. St. Mark. This massive volcano. I see a little bit of interferent grams. Zoom in a little closer. Time lapse of it. different orbit. A week. Still the same, so every other. Definitely looks to be heating up. Would not be surprised to see a volcano erupt again in the area. Currently just looking. Specific volcano that erupted these areas. Not the Aleutian Islands, or the border of Alaska. Another day. A lot of seismic activity in this area clustered on a fault line. Not be surprised to see in a. Oh, okay. Not come back, but the vegetation is just brown, bare. Come out a little bit more. Let's go to Greenland. Take a moment. Populate all the It is taking a moment. They're populated. Page of it. Out here, the Mire. And me. Still nothing coming up yet. Frustrating, I apologize. I guess we just don't have cans of green on here. And me. It's east of. Take a look at. Whoa. What is going on in Belarus? These are diagrams for sure, but probably not for the same reasons I'm looking for. That is massive. There's another utility to I would use in this instance for this radar usage over the past 30 days. Not going to open that just yet. Turn around there. Let me come back down to Kherson. Dnipro River. Lokapova Dam. Destroyed. Was the start of this. Realize that. Dnipro River. Not no one SAR imaging. They get a look at absolute lack of water that is left as every molecule wanted to spill out of that destroyed dam. Get a better sense of the river walls. All this is going to fall in and collapse. Not a river, this powerful current that reservoir on. Come back. Reservoir might have still. And it is the reservoir for the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. It's look at it over the last 2 power plants need clean, fresh, cool water. Please cool, free of particles. Big filtration process that would come in through the side, draw in the water from north and be out on the west side. Cooling towers exist side of the closest to the water, except now it's see some of the cooling areas turn on occasionally, so it does look like there's still some water, plenty of water. But how do you keep adding more water? You can't just run on the same vat of water until solution is made. The only solution would be to build up the dam again and wait for water to eventually fill it. Take a long time, generations to come, snow this hell, cholera, kinds of terrible diseases spread around. Here's some interferograms off of Mykolaiv all over the place. Just so massive. That still caught me off guard just how much larger these grams are compared to the rest. Once it comes back up. Why? Change. The growing column. This is Belarus extending into Romania. Interferograms. Scroll down. Wow. I don't think I've seen them this big before. That's all through border of Belarus and Ukraine. Of course. Very strange, but Belarus is very nervous and insane. They even made it illegal in Belarus for any citizens to use a drone. That's bad. Now that this populate over now. Oh, there's always Northwest Territories. If we go Saskatchewan, come up here to Yellowknife and Fort Smith. There's no reason to suspect that Fort Smith and its airport were destroyed, even though Hay River was, and Yellowknife is surrounded by fire. Plenty of things to see throughout Canada. Fires on the river, and there are volcanoes in Canada. Not heard of active, but they're there in Canada. Far above Yukon, okay. Australia as well. Fire season just started for Australia, and it looks like firefighters are going to strike just around the same time. Same is going for us. Is October 1st is deadline for payment for wildland firefighter personnel. They are our most valuable asset. Don't care. Nothing compares to what smoke jumpers have done in their careers. How many different countries they go and help. It is a job where you're fed moldy sandwiches and you sleep under this open sky. And we have Congress debating if we should give them a pay raise. Really messed up that the USDA Forestry Agency, Congress, sent out a letter day after or the day of Labor Day this year, a detail that they were getting a payment increase and a whole bunch of other promises, and then they had to backtrack and say, we didn't mean to send out those alerts. We didn't mean to cut those extra payments for people. Just a test for its program. Why would you have a legitimate test go out to everybody? Just hate people that work so much that you want to fuck with their life like that. So for however long people thought they were going to get a pay raise for per diem, anything, that just shattered hopes leading into another fire season not ending. Now let's take a look at my favorite volcano, Krakatoa. Such a little trooper. The island that was destroyed, some 30 inhabitants of it were all lost at sea or just under the nothing changes there. go to all near Volcano Island by Vulcan Point. All is a very, very large volcano. It is one of those volcanoes that you see the lake is huge, and you have to try to grasp that the island that people keep pointing at that is the volcano is only the tip of the volcano as it extends into, not coming up yet. All is massive. This is just what shows above the water. Probably helps how big it actually is. Massive. These volcanoes, they spectacularly erupt in these regions. Volcano Mayon erupted. Trident in Alaska. It was a random volcano. Indonesia, a lot of earthquakes in Papua New Guinea. Around this area. It just goes away and starts to try to load again after I knows I want to look at something. Okay, I'll come back over to Indonesia. Very much on this level of the sea. Malaysia. Take a look at Semeru down here. How many people are actually real so densely populated over here. Ring. Carta. Thinking. This volcano is always active, very explosive. Might look like a one-eyed red cyclops burning in the distance, thanks to its vertical features to make it look like on top sits a bright red burning eye. So many volcanoes in the area. There's little bits of interferograms. Nothing to time lapse about. And take a look down here in the Mozambique Channel. Are volcanoes in this region. Madagascar. Beautiful island with inhabitants greatly suffering. starvation. They're eating white clay, Madagascar. But it would have hands last month for this area. Up here. Up a little. Now we go and take a look at areas. Just see if we get a glimpse of any eruptions that might have happened. Trident, Cleveland, some other volcanoes. This area right here, island right here is going to pop. Activity on that island. Another view of Krakatoa. See if there's any plumes. Alright, I think that is it for SAR. Few areas I will be either I will return with a stream, something were to happen, seismically eruption,